So, just quickly looking back to what we've seen in the last two moral theories that we've studied. In Kant and in Mill, we saw that this is in stark contrast to what they were claiming. Right? For Kant, it's the action itself and the intentions behind the action that are in truth, as revealed by reason, wrong. Right? Rather than an egoistic application of the term good to ourselves and bad to everything that's lacking, those qualities we find to be good. Right? Again, in Mill, we find that in truth, connected to use, right, actions can be shown to be unproductive or productive. Right? And what's more, in Mill, we see that customs are generally quick and ready calculations of the usefulness or unusefulness of any sort of action. So it's the actions themselves and the outcomes of those actions that determine the moral quality of those actions. Right? Now, what Nietzsche is claiming is something completely different here. Right? That, in fact, right, it's a self-valuing, a self-love that these actions come, or that these judgments of good and bad come from. Right? So, how did it switch? Right? How did such a change take place? Well, what Nietzsche wants to claim here is that there was a sort of conflict between two castes. Right? The knightly aristocratic class and the priestly class. Those the spiritual class, right? These two castes valued different things differently, right? Initially they were more or less on the same page because the knightly aristocratic class was more powerful and therefore in charge. But when a priestly class rises to power, what they tend to do is, well, they moralize, right? They take themselves to be the determiners between right and wrong. Right? This was the case in Athens, this was the case throughout the Middle Ages. It's, to some extent, the case today. Right? So these knightly aristocratics, what they basically valued was power, health, vitality, and all of the things that go along with that. Dancing, singing, boisterous games, competition, that sort of thing, and anything that would further their power. Right? That would further their more or less warlike attitudes. Right? But Nietzsche claims on your page 17 to the rule that the political concept of rank always transforms itself into a spiritual concept of rank. It at first constitutes no exception, although it may in turn occasion such exceptions, that if the highest caste is at the same time the priestly caste, and consequently prefers to designate itself collectively through a predicate which reminds one of its priestly function. It is here, for example, that pure and impure are first opposed as marks of social station. And here also that good and bad are later developed in a sense that is no longer one of social station. Right? So the priestly class, right, in marking out delineations of social station, introduced the ideas of pure and impure. And Nietzsche notes that initially the distinction between pure and impure had more to do with health, with cleanliness, with physicality, with the kinds of actions that further health and vitality. Pure simply meant somebody washed, right? Who didn't sleep with unclean women, who cared for their health, and impure, the latter, right? Somebody who fostered sickness in their lives, right? But as these concepts develop, right, as they become and as they gain a certain sort of social inertia of their own, they become fixed ideas, right? A family becomes impure, right? A family becomes dirty, right? A culture, a people, a neighborhood, what have you, right? When these judgments become divorced of their meaning, right? Become divorced from the physical sort of attachment to particular sorts of activity, right? Then they they become fixed ideas, right? And no longer hold the same sorts of meanings anymore. Right? Now, what Nietzsche supposes happened here is that the knightly aristocratic class and the priestly class stubbornly oppose one another. Right? And, well, the knightly aristocratic class held all of these values of power and health and vitality and competition and that sort of thing. Right? The priestly class, on the other hand, were, well, physically weaker. Right? These are the military warrior type. Right? Whereas the priestly class are the more contemplative, spiritual type. Right? And the priestly class, not being good at war, did what they're best at, right? Through their weakness, they became haters. Haters. How does this work? The knightly aristocratic class, if we go back to the word meanings that we saw a second ago, good simply meant powerful, vital, that sort of thing, right? So the enemies of the knightly aristocratic class, they wouldn't allow themselves any but the most powerful enemies, right? So there was a latent respect for anyone, any class, any person, any people that they opposed, because they value competition, right? Competition, a good enemy, right, brings out the best in you, right? Think about if you play chess or video games or sports or tennis or golf or what have you. When you're playing against someone who's as good as or better than you, you have a better time at it. They bring more out of you, right? You have a better game, right? When your enemy's not up to the task, when your competitor's not up to the task, you don't enjoy it as much, right? So the knightly aristocratic class, it doesn't really resent, doesn't really hate, right? They even love their enemies, whereas the priestly class, turning these concepts of pure and impure into fixed ideas through their weakness and through their inability to confront head-on threats from the knightly aristocratic class, what they do, transforming these concepts into fixed ideas, is they satisfy themselves with what Nietzsche calls an imaginary revenge. Right? They can't beat these guys at their own game. Right? They can't confront might with might, so what they do through their weakness is become intelligent. Right? And Nietzsche claims that, and he's using the French term for what he's talking about here, is that ultimately the priestly class, their creative act comes from what Nietzsche calls resentment. And we'll get into that next.